Welcome back to Crystal Clear! I'm ARTWITHKODA, and although Steven Universe Future is a series dedicated to tying up loose ends, it's still going to be the final season of this series we've grown up with and gotten attached to over the years. Thus, it makes sense this limited epilogue would have a few callbacks that aren't really loose ends, but more or less fan-servicey things that the Crewniverse wanted to play with again, and that they knew we definitely would want to see before the final curtain call. We already know Sunstone and Rainbow Quartz 2.0 will make an eventual appearance, thanks to recording sessions earlier in the year, but another returning element from Change Your Mind I'd love to see is the mind-blowing Pink Steven. Now, Pink Steven is a character we don't need to see returning to the fray, but one we all crave deep down. Pink Steven wasn't a plot device, but a statement, evidence that Steven is simply Steven. Not Pink Diamond, not Rose Quartz, not who the Crystal Gems or Homeworld wanted him to be, just himself. But he also makes Steven's powers look 10 times cooler, so there's that. But although I would want Pink Steven to return, how can he return? In a way that's more natural as opposed to just being forced in just to say, hey, we did it. Well, as always, I think I have an idea worth sharing. And of course, spoiler warning. If you do not want to know about any potential plot points for Steven Universe Future, please click off now. With all that said, let's dive in. Packing immense power due to the lack of Steven's humanity and organic body restraining the gem half, Pink Steven appears to be one of the strongest characters with some of the most greatest potential that we've seen in the series thus far. Despite this, I don't see Steven ever unleashing his gemstone as some sort of secret weapon against his enemies. As we saw in Change Your Mind, Steven was in a very weakened state once his gemstone was violently removed by White Diamond, Steven turning pale with dark circles immediately forming under his eyes. The boy was barely able to move, and although it wasn't explicitly stated, we could imagine he was in a lot of pain. For all intents and purposes, what was said by former Crewniverse member Matt Burnett many years ago came to fruition. Without his gem being embedded into his body, Steven was dying. I've said this before, but his gem is almost like a second heart. It's a very vital organ that he can't function without. And of course, without his powers, it's not like Steven could heal himself. If he went a few more minutes without Pink Steven, who knows what would have happened. All I'm saying is Spinel could have kept waiting in that garden, because I don't think that message to the universe would have ever happened. Wow, now that I'm really thinking about it, what a dark timeline that would have been. However, something worth keeping in mind is that the climax of Change Your Mind only happened between Steven, Connie, and White Diamond. The Crystal Gems, Pink Pearl, Yellow Diamond, and Blue Diamond were all under White's mind control. They contained no recollection of the events that just transpired. So unless Steven and White filled in those puppeted after the fact, everyone should still be unaware of what happens if Steven loses his gem, and the critical state his body was left in. But even if our core cast was filled in, I imagine it'd still be kept on a need-to-know basis. That removing Steven's gem may weaken one half of him, but it unleashes a potential loose cannon that will raise hell if he sees his other self in danger. So at this point you may be scratching your head. What about those who aren't included in that need-to-know basis? Any looming threats out there who would love to see the demise of Steven Universe? And who, much like White Diamond, may just see Steven as a barrier between them and the return of Pink Diamond. Thus, bring in Homeworld's Rebellion, a group of gems that we can only assume are bitter and angry that their status on Homeworld no longer means anything, that Pink Diamond abandoned her duties and gems on Homeworld to become Rose Quartz, frolicking among organic life for thousands of years. There are multiple reasons to rebel, but ultimately, they may set their end goal on Steven's gemstone. Again, there's no reason to believe that the general populace of Homeworld would be aware that removing Steven's gemstone would only produce another Steven, because ultimately, from a narrative standpoint, Steven has nothing to prove to them. The definitive statement of who he is only had to be shown to the people that mattered most in the situation, those who were in the position to bring actual change to the universe. But even if so, the rebelling gems may plan to use a rejuvenator on Pink Steven in an attempt to bring back Pink Diamond, giving those aforementioned consequences to the movie that Rebecca Sugar teased in the interview. And hey, if you guys want me to elaborate on the possibility of Pink Steven turning into Pink Diamond through a rejuvenator in another video, please sound off in the comments below. Of course, since I've been on a Jasper kick lately, she's the one I could especially see removing Steven's gem, since she has one of the biggest narrative connections to Pink Diamond, to Rose Quartz. And her mental state in an attempt to process that Pink Diamond was Rose Quartz would probably send her on a very wild loop where she would throw everything at the wall to avoid accepting the truth. And honestly, as long as she has enough backup to handle the crystal gems, I can still see Jasper easily overpowering Steven and paralyzing him long enough to remove his gemstone. The result? Pink Steven goes bananas. And if Jasper isn't already aware of Pink Steven, if she really is in denial over Pink Diamond being Rose Quartz and not being Steven, I think she would finally get the picture crystal clear. And just the potential of how crazy this would be gets me excited. First things first, Pink Steven would also have a new look, as he would reflect Steven's current design in a post-time skip world. But just imagine Pink Steven having to fight off Jasper while trying to find his way to organic Steven's body. With Change Your Mind, it was a simple straight path forward while using his shields to deflect White Diamond's blast. But we know Jasper is much more mobile in combat. She wouldn't just resort to beams of light. Pink Steven would actually have to counter punches, spin dashes, headbutts with her helmet. It'd be insane! Especially if Jasper wasn't the only gem trying to take swings. Come on, it's Rebellion. But although as crazy and insane as it would be, I couldn't see Pink Steven actually going up against a multitude of gems at once. But with the little demonstration of power that Pink Steven used in Change Your Mind, you would have to admit, anything else he pulls up his sleeves would be beyond insane. I think this would be a satisfying, yet brief way to allow us to see Pink Steven one last time, while also demonstrating more of his abilities, a closer look at how powerful he truly can be. And it could even result in Steven getting more in tune with the full potential of his diamond powers, as briefly teased in the movie. But as always, these are just my thoughts, and I want to hear yours. What do you think? Could Pink Steven make one last return in Steven Universe future? Do you want to see him return? Why or why not? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, or tweet your thoughts at Roundtable Vids. And for more of my own thoughts, you can find me at ARTWITHKODA. We're also on Instagram. Special thanks to ARTWITHKODA for creating an awesome thumbnail. For more of his wonderful art, you can find him on Tumblr and Instagram at ARTWITHKODA, and subscribe to his YouTube channel. Link down below in the description. Help Roundtable grow by either becoming a member of this channel or supporting us over at Patreon. Link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please sort of like and subscribe to the Roundtable for more great cartoon content. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. ARTWITHKODA signing out.